Hey everybody. Today I want to talk to you briefly about where to go to find resources for your evaluation paper. So as you already know, your evaluation paper involves taking a film that you love, no matter what the film is, and then contrasting it against a film that you don't like that is also part of that same genre. So if your film that you love is a romantic comedy, then your other film that you don't like also needs to be a romantic comedy. That way you're not comparing apples to oranges, you're actually comparing oranges to oranges. So, anyway, to do that, to find good resources for this, you need to find critics. You need to find movie critics that agree with you. You need to find information about whatever your criteria is. So, if your criteria is about the soundtrack, you need to find information about the soundtrack. If your criteria is about the script, you need to find information about the script, and so on and so forth. One of the best places to do that is on my screen right here. It's IMDb, imdb.com, Internet Movie Database. And so I'm going to use the same film for all of this. I'm going to check Black Panther. I'm going to type it in right here. And sometimes it'll have a trailer. You just scroll down. What you'll see up here is here's the title, here's information about the genre and how long it is. These are people like you and me who have reviewed it and given it a 7.9 out of 10. You have right here is a short synopsis, which would be great for your summary paragraph. Don't copy and paste it, put it in your own words, but it would be great for your summary paragraph. Here's information about the director when you're introducing the film. The title of the film, as well as the director, needs to be mentioned. If you want to find critic reviews, what you do is you go up here to where it says More, and you go over here to Opinion, and you click on External Reviews. Now, personally, I always like to open things in a new tab, so I'm going to click on External Reviews, open in a new tab. And depending on the speed of your internet, you'll be given a huge list of movie critics. They have 371 movie critics that have reviewed this film. And so you can click on any of these. Here's Roger Ebert, probably the most famous movie critic. I'm going to open this in a new tab. And here I can read this critic's review. Now, here's the great thing about these movie critics. Not only do they give you great ethos and logos for your assignment, but if you're stuck on, I don't know what kind of criteria to use for these films, things like that, reading movie critics, they will tell you what their criteria is for how they graded this film. So he gave it 4 stars, and he's going to tell you exactly why. So, like, for example, he talks about the imagery in here. He talks about the characters. Character development for him was a big criteria. So, anyway, that's not all that IMDb does. IMDb it has the director, has a synopsis, has movie critic stuff. It also has news articles under this More tab. Under related items, you can click on news, open in a new window or tab, and here's a whole bunch of articles that talk about the making of the film, as well as interviews with the director and the actors and things like that. So a great just well of information that you can pull from to make your argument that much better. Because if you're talking about, the acting, well, then look at interviews with the actors. If you're talking about the direction of the film, then look at interviews with the director and things of that sort. So, all sorts of information. If you have a film in mind, let's say you want to do Black Panther, but you don't know what film to compare it to, if you go to where people who liked this also liked, you can scroll through these and you can see a whole bunch of different films that other people compared it to. So you can click on any of the cast members to get more information about them. Here's a more detailed stuff about the storyline, details about box office and how it was made if you want to look at like special effects, things like that. Also, Under Did You Know, under Trivia, is a great thing. If you click on here, excuse me, you can see a bunch of different trivia about the behind the scenes. For example, if I go down here, it says director Ryan Coogler brought in consultants who are experts on African history and politics to work on defining the country of Wakanda. And you can go and look at movie critics who all talk about how the country, the fictionalized country of Wakanda, seemed to really come to life in its culture and heritage and things like that in the film. So, little bits of trivia like this are great to throw into your film, your evaluation, I should say, uh, to kind of give it a little bit more, a sense of robustness. So anyway, and then here's information about the soundtracks. Here's some quotes from the film that you can pull up. All sorts of stuff. So Internet Movie Database, honestly, is your one-stop shop. You can find everything that you want for your films on here. Another great website is Rotten Tomatoes. And so if I click on Rotten Tomatoes and I click on Black Panther, I can get another user rating. I can scroll down here and I can get movie info. Now you'll notice it's not as much information as Internet Movie Database has. And then you can scroll down here to get critic reviews, and you can click on each of these for the full review. But the great thing about Rotten Tomatoes is it has a whole section for news and interviews related to your film. Now, the drawback with Rotten Tomatoes is it doesn't have a lot of older films. So if you're doing a classic film like Fiddler on the Roof or Dancing in the Rain or something like that, it's probably not going to have it. Or I'm sorry, Singing in the Rain. It's probably not going to have it. Rotten Tomatoes is mostly for newer stuff. Another good website to use is Metacritic. Now, again, Metacritic is mostly for newer stuff, but Metacritic, the great thing about Metacritic is that if I click on the title of the film or search for it, again, I have a summary, I have cast information, basic information. The great thing about Metacritic is it's not a review site itself. It compiles all the different reviews around the internet. And so they have compiled 54 different reviews from critics, and they've given them a ranking from 1 to 100. So let's say you're looking for a critic that loves the film, just look at the ones that gave it a top score. If you're looking for a critic that absolutely trashed the film so that you can say some negative things about your other film that you don't like, then all you got to do is scroll all the way down to the bottom and pick the lowest scoring review that you see on there and read the full review, and you can see exactly why they don't like it. So that's pretty much it. You've got Metacritic, you've got Rotten Tomatoes, and you've got Internet Movie Database. And again, Internet Movie Database is really your best bet. It's going to have everything you need. Remember that you must have 2 films, a film that you love, preferably a film that you don't like, to go along with it so you can contrast the two. The films must be in the same category as each other. So example, if I'm doing Black Panther, then I want to pick another Marvel film. Okay. So you want 2 films, one you love, one that you don't like. And then you want a movie critic for each film. And then to kind of help make your paper better, you want a 5th source. Now, this part is optional, but it would make your paper better. A 5th source that talks about the behind the scenes, the making of the film. And again, to get that, you go over here to where it says More, and you click on News. And that's it. Happy hunting.